Okay, I think we can start. Okay, who among you knows what Fortnite is about? None of you. You can explain it.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game. Very good.
Where people survive on an island.
People survive on
And
an island.
the lone survivor is the winner.
Okay, very good. You know what Fortnite has? It's free and it's easy to play. One day I was in church and I saw a little guy, 14 years old I guess, and he was playing because you can play in the mobile phone. He was playing Fortnite in the middle of the sermon. And I talked to him and I said, "Are you playing Fortnite?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Why? You can play at home." And he told me, because the church is too boring for me. So I don't know if it's your experience, but in my experience, we see a lot of young people bored in church. They are disconnected and they don't grow spiritually. So one of the things of Fortnite is that game. You know, everyone plays at Fortnite, but you. But millennials, Z generation, and even my old brother is 50 years old. He is playing every day, and I see him playing every day. Everyone plays Fortnite. It's millions and millions of players playing around the world, connected and playing Fortnite. And the thing I like the most from Fortnite is that it's a shooter game, okay? It's not very Christian. It's not very Adventist game. But the thing I like from Fortnite is the best shooter is not the best player. Because this kind of games is only shooting. But this game, you have to build in order to cover, in order to make fortress. So the best players are not the best shooters, but the best builders. And sometimes in church, we think about the strategy, about shooting, like shooting the right strategy, the right program, the right decision in church that keep the young people in church. But the best way to win the game is to build a community, to build a church where the young people can stay. Okay, so what is the purpose of the church? Matthew 20:28 is the purpose, the main purpose of the church, and it's therefore go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. So if I ask you, what is the purpose of the church? What you would say? From everything you can make disciples. And what about our young people? When you get a child, my son is 6 years old, and when he is like 12, 13 years old, he will start studying the Bible, hopefully with me. I'm a pastor. But when he finishes his Bible studies, he will get baptized, hopefully, and then what? We drop them off into the church and survive, like in Fortnite, like in a dystopic island when everyone has to survive. We don't teach them, we don't help them to grow spiritually, we don't walk with them through the spiritual journey. So now we are going to work, okay? What is discipleship? Discipleship, what is not discipleship? Discipleship is not a production line, because we usually think that making disciples is like a production line, you know, like Coca-Cola, like boom, boom, boom. It's not a production line. We don't make disciples like you study the Bible during 17 weeks and then you are a disciple. It is not a discipleship process. Discipleship is not just for leaders. Sometimes we, as leaders, we think discipleship is all about us, about what we can do for people. But discipleship is not also for beginners. We think that discipleship is just for beginners and not for leaders. Discipleship is for everyone. So in discipleship you have 4 levels. Is Jesus in John, in Matthew, in Mark, and in John again. He said, come and see. Second level, come and follow me. Third level, come and be with me. And fourth level, remain in me. This is the fourth level, four steps of discipleship. And these are, the core, the key ideas of every level. To connect, to share, to grow, and then to make disciples. When you start with a young guy, with a young lady, you have first to connect with him or with her. You have to know her, you have to know him. And then he or she has to share with you his sorrows, his, what is his or her expectations, okay? And then you, as a mentor, this is another ICOR item you have to keep in mind. You have to be his mentor or her mentor. You have to help them grow spiritually. And when they are ready, they will make disciples as you did with them. So now, we are going to work, okay? And you have you traveled to London? And the metro, the underground, mind the gap, please. So we have a gap in our church. We have a gap in the discipleship process. Because ICOR is not, you have read already, but ICOR is not a program, it's not an event, it's a process. And our church has to be a process, not an event, not a program. Most of Adventist people are Seventh-day Adventists, just Sabbath. And most of them, just Sabbath morning. This is a faith based on programs, based on events, not based on a process. So we have a gap, okay? This is the question. Now maybe we do two teams and we work together. This is the question. Is your local church a program or a discipleship process-oriented community? So you have then the items, okay? I said some of them, but maybe you have more. You have week of prayer. These are events or programs you have in your church. Week of prayer, sermon plus worship. This happens in Sabbath morning. Sabbath school, prayer meetings, youth activities, small groups, any else. This is up to you. And we are going to make, the structure, okay? First step is to connect, okay? Second was share. Third one was grow. And fourth was make disciples. So now, what are you going to do is you take this and you think which step belongs to. Week of prayer, it helps us to connect with our young people. It helps us with sharing with them. It helps us to make them grow spiritually. Or it helps us to make them continue the process of making disciples. Okay? So you take post-its and you have pen here, and you can make two teams, and just take week of prayer, for example, and when you decide, you put week of prayer or in connect, share, grow, or make disciples. Okay? And we will see which gap we have in our local church. Because if we don't have the discipleship process complete, we are losing our young people. Because we are not helping them to be disciples. We are just keeping them as spectators of our program, of our event that we call church. Okay? You have understood everything? Okay. So you can make the teams now. Don't be shy. So if you have more activities in your church, in your local church, you can put them. You can write down the activities. Okay, so one group, second group. And also, I have one more thing to say. This workshop has relation with the other workshop I do with my church, Zero. Think not only about young people, but with new converts, new people that is coming to church. Okay, because usually we only think about young people, my son, my nephew, my. But we don't think to new people, new Christian people coming to church and making the process. Okay, so think about a friend, a classmate that you bring to church, not the building, not the program. How do you do with that kind of programs? Okay. Easy or not?
Because some of them they are just
Yeah, you have to discuss. Yeah.
They can be more than one, but also some other ones.
You discuss generally, okay? Not because maybe in your church the week of prayer is evangelistic, so it's it's conceived like evangelistic program, but yeah, generally speaking.
Connect. You can you see us every week, so
Yeah, connect is meet them where they are.
this together is friendship.
Yeah. It's not come. It's just I'm coming to you because of what Jesus did. I'm coming to you, and then I say come with me. But the first step to connect is coming to you where you are. This is the first step. When we say connect with young people, do we talk his language? Do we know what they do and what they like and what they spend time? For example, Fortnite or other games, League of Legends. Do we know them? The music they listen? You know that the value is participating. So we are trying to figure out how to make them participate in church. So, do they participate in a week of prayer, in a Sabbath school, in worship, in program? Maybe most of them they do, but what about those who are not participating in church? They are just isolated, maybe by themselves, but they are isolated or disconnected or because they are quitting the church. I see you thinking a lot. So maybe if you read the text, you're going to understand better. Because connect, I told them, is meet them where they are. Share is just allowing them to have the confidence, the trust to share what they feel about church, about God, about everything. Grow is the third step. Helping them grow, giving the tools to know Jesus better and to make commitment for Jesus. And the fourth is teach them how to do all the job you have been done with them. So in church, our church, in which way is ready to make this process a successful process? During the Sabbath school, you can put Sabbath School Connect. In Sabbath school, we meet them where they are?
We
No.
invite them to where we are.
Sabbath school, we are teaching them what we believe and what we do as a Seventh-day Adventist. So it's not connect, it's not even share. We think it's share, but sometimes we just trying to make them grow spiritually. So worship, sermon, it's up to you. I can tell you my church, but not yours. So it's up to you to think about your local church or your country church, or you can help others, because maybe most of us, we are not from the same country, and we can help one another to understand.
Communicate or connecting more is necessary. Call them.
Maybe you wanna
other
make
days
one
not
group,
be
one main group would be better.
Sabbath.
Yes, you can join them.
Make
It's up to you.
With someone that wants to do want to follow in the same and learn how to do it.
Okay, the disciples. Were disciples? Of course they were. But they were ordained to make new disciples. How? You know the difference between being disciple or have the capacity to make disciples. Because being disciple is from here. For Jesus, being a disciple starts here. The first time you connect with Jesus, or he connects with you. But only here you have the ability, the capacity to empowerment, and make new disciples. How? Teaching. Are our young people, our youth, ready to teach the Bible, for example? Because it's easy. We think we make disciples here, just come along to church. You bring a guy or a girl to the church, and this is making disciples. This is not making disciples. This is inviting a friend to your church, to a program. But making a disciple is mentoring. Praying with him, studying the Bible with him, being with him in tough times, showing him how you struggle in life and how you strength high the hand of Jesus. This is making disciples, not just bringing them to church. Okay? Because church is not the building. Church is our community, and we make disciples when we are ready to do the discipleship task. This teaching, this studying, this praying with them. And how many among your youth group are ready to do this? Because if they are not ready, they are in the land of discipleship. Maybe are in the land of nowhere. But how you start, this is the second part of the workshop, but now, your church, how ready is your church to help your youth to make the path of discipleship? Understanding that the final step, the final level, the upgrade, the most upgrade level is this one. Therefore, go and make disciples. Who? The disciples. The disciples making disciples. Who? Disciples making disciples? Going, not coming. Going. You meet them where they are, not where you are. No, it's not just come. I'm going to teach you how to be a proud Seventh-day Adventist. I am meeting people where they are, as Jesus did. Okay? So going, baptizing. Baptizing is not important. It's important morally, psychologically. But teaching, this is the top level. So your church, even your church has in mind this path. Every single activity, every single program is prepared having this in mind. Do you have goals when you set an activity, or just to have fun and be together? Because I'm from Spain. Mediterranean countries is easy peasy. It's just you bring food. Well, I guess European countries is the same. You bring food, you bring friendship, you bring people, and it's all done. You have a nice evening all together. And when you open the Bible, people are more receptive to listen. But it's not all about food and people. You need a goal, you need a purpose, you need a path. Because Jesus gave us the path. It's not me, it's not the Seventh-day Adventist Church, it was Jesus. So how your church is ready to make the path. And if not, don't worry. We are here to try to solve the problem. Okay, so first step is just, I guess it's easy. Maybe we have struggling, but it's just setting. Sabbath school, we said is grow. So you take a post-it, you put here, stick, Sabbath school, growing, okay? Week of prayer or sermon worship. I heard sermon worship. Also, grow. You say grow. Sermon plus worship. So you have two things. All Sabbath morning, Sabbath school and sermon worship is all about growing. Okay, nice. We are going to grow. But what if we haven't seed the soil? We have nothing to grow. We are trying to grow. But what is the seed? It's not planted. So we have to plant. So you can do it with youth activities. For what? Prophecy seminar. Yeah, grow. Maybe you can realize that everything we done in church is almost here. Try. Think. Discuss. Everything we do in church, we don't connect. We don't make disciples. We just are spectators. A few leaders doing everything, and the rest, the majority of our church, is just sitting and watching. How many of your people, not only young people, of your people, your members, they come to church, they sit, they speak a little in Sabbath school, they sing, and they go home until next Sabbath. And every week, and every week, and every Sabbath. This is not discipleship process. This is a spectator process, or whatever it's called. It's like going to cinema to watch a movie. You pay, you watch the movie, finish the movie, and you go home. Church is not that. Church is not an event. It's not a spectacle. It's not a program. Church must be more. So just, feel it. Maybe you can stand, take the post-it and put Sabbath school, worship and sermon. And you will see this will impact. You will see where our church is. Because if not, I'm talking to you, and it's my opinion, it's my point of view, it's my context, my background, my mind. I want to be yours. Your experience in your local church. How is it? Okay. Maybe you are shy. You want me to do this? Thank you. Provencito. Sabbath school sermon. Do you agree with them? Yes. So what about week of prayer? Sure. Why sure? And that's the tough question. Why? Justify your response.
Because we pray that we are a person.
Week of prayer. How is a week of prayer? For example, I'm the pastor you invite. For example, you invite to your church. to make the week of prayer. Okay, so I come to you, present myself, I introduce myself, and I preach. Isn't it? I preach. And when I finish the preaching, what is coming next? Pray. But pray. How? I pray, you pray, we pray. One prayer, short prayer. Maybe if the pastor is the one who is doing the prayer, is 5 minutes long prayer. And it's all. A week of prayer is just a Sabbath morning,
In afternoon.
a sermon in the afternoon, and every day. So, week of prayer is share. Your people can share their feelings, their sorrows, their expectations, their feelings about God, about life, about church. They can participate in church during the week of prayer. Yes or no? Yes? Okay. In your church, it happens, not in mine. Small groups. Okay, really good. You do small groups do you have small groups in your church? A little. Yeah, there are small groups. Well done. Because if not, it's a church. Okay. Prayer meetings. Friday evening. If you do in your church. Usually Adventists, we do Friday evening. What is a Friday evening like? We start. Do you go to Friday evening to church? Singing. We start singing. And we read the Bible or preach. Is it reading or preaching?
I read and preach.
Okay. What about you? Friday evening.
So we actually have a prayer meeting at Wednesday in my church.
Okay, we'll come.
And it's like more like a small group. We read some text. We're actually reading Ellen White's books, and then we have a sharing moment. We talk about what you read, our opinions, and then we discuss also our concerns and sorrows, so we can pray together.
Okay. Prayer meetings. But what do you do in your church Friday evening?
So in this church, they don't do anything on Friday evening. They do it on a Wednesday, and another church, we are together as a small group, and we have a meal together, and we read the Bible together.
Okay, Friday evening.
Yes.
Does any one of you has a church or attends a church or
I think that
is
is
part of church?
really typical.
It's
from
only
Spain.
only in Spain. Okay. So shame in Spain. Okay. Youth activities. You have a variety, a huge variety of activities in youth department. But youth activities, not national activities, not regional activities, local activities for youth people. Connect.
Because I bring my friends there and
What do you do in youth activities?
different things. So sometimes a topic about some value topics or just sitting there and discussing. But after that, we always have something like bowling, eating together,
Having
always
fun.
sharing everything,
Having
community.
Okay. Do you agree with them? If not, we can fight. Okay.
Yes, but
But
you were explaining before what connecting actually means, and okay, we do activities. We invite people to do something with us. Maybe we are going to play bowling or something else. But are we reaching out and finding them where they are, or are we just inviting them to our group to do the stuff we like? Are we really getting to know them and their needs and what they like? And yeah, just a question, open question, reflecting.
If it's my friend, then I know it. But if it's a foreign person, I don't know.
And how
So
you,
I need to have a connection with the people.
Yeah.
Then I can invite them.
and how do you do a connection? Going. Going is not only literal. It's not literally, I'm going, okay, I'm going. No, it's just going. If one guy or one lady who is not Seventh-day Adventist is coming, or maybe I is my neighbor, is my roommate, is my classmate, is my job mate, is my whatever mate, okay? I connect what he likes, what she likes. Jesus did that. He approached to people to meet the people where they are and to feel the necessities of people. So, we have a problem. We don't make disciples in local church, or at least in your local churches, not in mine. So we have the same problem. We make them grow a lot, because the main program, the main activity is Sabbath morning. So we grow. We share a little during the week. And we connect only in youth department. Do you get the problem? Outside the youth department, we don't connect people to church. The only way to connect people to church is youth activities. So what is the problem? This is a step, very difficult, very high, very hard, very tough for our young people. Because they like this, don't you have young people that they like and they come to youth activities but they don't come to worship? They don't come to Sabbath morning. Or if they come, they are playing Fortnite, or they are playing, or they are in WhatsApp, or they are doing everything they want to do, but listening or worshiping together. So this is a problem. Because outside the youth department, outside the youth activities, we don't have a path. So church, you know what ICOR is? The I of ICOR is intergenerational. How you connect youth with church, with the rest of the church. Are we a small church in a bigger church? How we connect people, because usually the path is not working, because young people, they feel well here, they feel comfortable, they feel that they are in a friendship, in a family group, but when they think about the church, the global church, the local church, globally, with the adults, with the elders, with all these people, they don't feel as well as they feel when they are among friends. So next step, okay? This is time for your creativity, okay? 2 questions. First of all, big concept, okay? We do mission through discipleship and discipleship through worship. And you need commitment to do this. The mission, Matthew 28, Jesus said, the mission is going through the path of discipleship, and this is service. And service you have in John 13, the Last Supper, when Jesus just kneeled himself and start washing the feet of the disciples. This is service. Sometimes we have commitment in church because we like positions. We like to be on top. But discipleship is not being on top. It's not about a position. It's just about kneeling and serving others. Okay? So this is 2 questions. Fill the gap. So if you go to London, fill the gap, please, in the underground. What are our expectations from young people? You are leaders, aren't you? You are leaders from your churches. Maybe you are pastors. What are our expectations from young people? What is your expectation about the guy who is playing Fortnite in church? Or is talking to a friend in church? just it's not taking care of the message, it's not taking care of the worship. Okay? Second question. Do we need to adapt some things in local church in order to connect or to share or just to make the path easy to walk through? So now, two case studies or two role plays. Nathan is a young man in your local church. He plays Fortnite and League of Legends. If you don't know Fortnite, you don't know League of Legends. 4 hours a day. I met several guys who play 4 hours and 6 hours a day. They start from 8 to 2 in the morning. This is Spain. Spain, we go to bed very late. 4 hours a day. He never reads the Bible, nor even prays. He barely attends church. Nathan has a problem of commitment. But what about the opportunities we give them to Nathan? Lydia. She is a young woman. She loves reading and buying Amazon. She travels a lot, and you barely find her a Sabbath morning. They are consumists. Maybe you consume a lot, you buy a lot of things. They are into buying, spending money, traveling, experiences. And church has nothing to do with them. So you have Nathan and Lydia. Two cases, okay? So we restart, okay? Forget about this. And how you would adapt some things in local church in order to connect, to share, to grow, to make disciples to Nathan and to Lydia. How you would do? I mean, how you connect with Nathan and Lydia? Because you are going to tell them that Ellen White says, and they say blah blah blah. They don't care about Ellen White. They don't care the Bible. They don't care about Ellen White. So they only care about games, movies, Netflix. Yeah, you know your young people. How do you connect? How do you make them a space, a room to participate, to share what they like and what they believe and what they don't believe? Because some of our young people, they are children from Seventh-day Adventist people, and they don't believe in creation, they believe in evolution, they don't believe in Ellen White. They have a barely idea of what Sabbath is, and what Sabbath is for. How we help them to grow next to Jesus, close to Jesus, and how we help them to make disciples. Or maybe how our local church can help us, me, to be a leader, to make disciples, because they need to be disciples. So, create a church. Now is your time to create a church. Start from zero. This is a new church, okay? You have now a new church. How you do a church with this path? Connecting with young people, sharing, growing, and helping them to make disciples. And all this with all the rest of the church. Okay? So this second task is more difficult than the first one. So can we just think about planning a church, a different church? Can we fill these gaps? Only you department involved in connecting, and a vacuum here where nobody cares about making disciples? Can you think? Can you innovate? Can you adapt? Can you change? Can you build a church where this is filled and this is wider than only for youth department. Yes? So let's discuss. You won't have another opportunity to build a new church. Think like you are planting a church. This is the church you are thinking of. How the church will be like. Start from the beginning.
I think in order to make the connection with the ones that we have to start serving. Because service is something that you can use to connect, and it's also a way to use the people that you have to make disciples, and it will help them to grow.
Okay, so connect will be I'll change through service. Very good. Yeah, you can discuss in groups if you want, but let's feel the path, okay? Because when you are trying to think about a process, you don't think about programs. This is our set mind, Seventh-day Adventist mind. We think in activities. No, don't think activities. Think principles. Connect. How do we connect? Service. How do we share or allow them to share? How we help them to grow, and how we help them to make disciples. Okay? Think about principles. And once you have principles, you will think on activities. But activities that are part of a body, not just activities to fill a calendar, a schedule. Don't you feel sometimes like if you are youth director, you are just trying to fill to the schedule? Just we have this Sabbath empty. We have to do something. Oh, let's eat together, and yeah, we invite the pastor, and he has a message, and it's all. So the Sabbath is done. No, we are not filling the schedule. We are just thinking how to build a church with a purpose. Okay? So think more principles here. In connect, in share, in grow, in making disciples. And we have only 14 minutes left.
We have time to set
No. Maybe if you think in a secular person, it's easier. Secular person. They don't believe in Bible. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in church. In religion. They reject everything. Don't think about a young boy or girl from your church. Think about a secular person. Service will work. Because service. You go to the hospital, you go to the, to help ill kids or ill people. You care for homeless. You connect with them.
Actually, met people that are not interested in religion, but they saw how we serve and they want to do it with us. They want to be part of our group in the service area. They don't want to come to the church, but they want to be with us in this service sharing.
This is come and see. Come and see who we are. Come and see what Seventh-day Adventist Church is doing in our community. We are longing for the second coming of Jesus, but we are doing our work here to change the world. They need to see that the preaching and the action, they are the same. Not we are preaching for a better world, and we are not working for a better world here. More. more. This how you help them to empower them to make disciples. This is always empty. Always empty, nothing. And who has the task to make disciples? The pastor?
Is it empty? Because if you are starting with a service and with outreach activities, and the people of our church are active in this area, they already start the process of making disciples. Maybe they are not preaching, maybe they are not giving a Bible study, but they are telling others about what they do and what they believe.
Yeah, but the disciple who makes disciples is the one who is ready to connect, to allow them to share, and to grow, make them grow, teaching and helping them. So, you have disciples that are allowing or are pushing to connect with others. It's very nice. They are connecting with other people, but they are not ready to, or maybe they are ready to share, but they are not ready to grow. They are not making disciples. And how many from you have? This is a young guy that connects with others, but how many people in your church is disconnected? They never invite friends to activities or to the family, to the community, to the church. Not the church, to the building or the service, but to the family. Because maybe you are doing discipleship with those, but what about those? That they are playing Fortnite, they are disconnected, they are a step far from quitting the church. Because we lose young people. Every single day we lose young people. And if we lose young people, how are we going to do with secular people or with non-Adventist people? That is harder to reach than the ones who are already in our church. So if we have people that fulfills 1 and 2, we have to give them the tools to grow. Bible studies. If you know the Bible, because it's very comfortable. It's comfort zone. I bring people to church. I bring people to watch a movie. I bring people to play football. I bring people to watch a match. I bring people, and we share. He's an atheist, or he's Buddhist, or he's Catholic. And he's my friend, and it's okay, but I don't teach him or teach her the Bible because I have no clue what the Bible is about. They are not disciples because you remember yesterday, Gary Blanchard said, you have to go up to the mount. If you are not with Jesus, if you bring them to Jesus, they are not growing. They are just having fun or just staying, but they have to meet Jesus face to face and grow with him, not with you. You are not his master. Jesus is his master. So, we are running out of time. Think about this in church, in your local church. Take notes of connect, share, grow, make disciples. Talk to your pastor. If you are pastor, talk to your youth department, youth director, youth team, to your youth in your church, and think, discuss, how are we going to make the path easier for them? Okay? Because it's a paradox. You know what a paradox is? It's a paradox that Sabbath morning we spend a lot of time growing, Sabbath school, sermon, but the results of that effort to make them grow is not working. Why?
Because grow is not learning, it's doing.
Is doing.
And we spend a lot of time teaching, and they don't have an activity, opportunity to do it in a practical way.
Come and be with me. Jesus said, it's not Jonathan. It wasn't me. It wasn't any pastor. It was Jesus. Come and be with me. Learn by doing. Doing. Learn the Bible, learn the principles, learn about Jesus, but learn doing. Doing was, the people, there was a multitude of people, a huge group of people, and the disciples came to Jesus and said, what are we going to do? Send them home, because they are hungry. And Jesus said, give them the food. How? How are we going to feed 4,000 people? Jesus said, do it by yourself. I'm with you. Jesus wants us to be with him, doing what he does.
But that is scary. I remember the first time I gave a Bible study. Now I'm a pastor, I have to do it anyway. But and I enjoy it a lot. But I remember the first time I had to give a Bible study. It was scary. What if he asks me something I don't know? What if I don't explain it properly and he doesn't understand me? Why? And I think that my members in my church, they feel the same way. They have a tough question. They have something they want to teach something. Go to the pastor. He can teach you well. I can give you a tip or two, but the elder or the pastor, they can teach you. And I think that we have to encourage our people in the church to go one step forward and to start doing. It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. There is two ways, and I finish with that. It's a little secular conclusion, but there is two ways or two methods to win at this game. Fortnite. I said before, right? I highlight this idea because it works for church. You can shoot, you can destroy, you can just take the Bible and and I don't, it doesn't come to my mouth the word in English, but you can kick all the people, all our young people with the Bible, trying to convince them that we are right and we are the best church in the world. This is shooting, but we can build. This is the second method Fortnite has. You can build, and when you build, you give them the path, the fortress, the structure to be part of the church. Think how our young people can participate in church. They need to be in a refuge place. They need to have the confidence to tell you, I don't believe in God anymore, and I need help. How is going to be your reaction? Your father is Adventist, your grandfather is Adventist. How is going to be your reaction? They need you being with them, you accompanying them without criticizing, without judging, and make them part of the church. They need to feel that their opinion is important for church. Sometimes the pastor doesn't care about the opinion of the youth. I'm pastor, and sometimes when you need to go to a point with your church, it's easy to have confidence in the experimented people of your church, the elders, the people who support the church. But what about the young people? They need to be accepted, and they need to feel that they are important in church. And this is our task. If you are leaders, we as leaders, we need them in church. because the people who spend more time with the world we want to reach is young people. They have a lot of friends. When you get older, your friends are diminishing. You have less friends and less friends and less friends. When you are young, the high school, the university, the neighborhood, the soccer, the football team, you do a lot of activities. You don't have to work. You do a lot of activities, and you establish relationships with people. They will help us more than we are doing now. So, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Pregunta.
Yes.
Hay un anciano de la iglesia que amaba a los jóvenes
An elder from his church that loved the youth
presentó un proyecto que tenía que ver con estas 4 partes.
he presented a project that had to do with all these 4 steps.
Involucró a 12 líderes jóvenes.
He involved 12 youth leaders.
Cada líder joven tenía que escoger 2 o 3 jóvenes más pequeños, adolescentes.
Every youth leader had to choose 1 or 2 young guys or young ladies.
Y hacer un percurso con ellos.
Okay.
Un percurso.
No,
O sea, un percurso.
I don't understand
Sal-
Spanish.
salir con ellos,
Ah.
hacer una parte recreativa, hacer una parte espiritual y hacer una parte, digamos así, más de amistad.
Yeah. Every youth leader had to mentor every kid. What I said before is another icon value, mentoring. Yeah.
Era un grupo más o menos de 40 entre todos.
The whole group was about 40 people.
Y cada líder se tenía que encargar de esos 2 o 3 jóvenes, a estar con ellos siempre, a llamarlos y a seguirlos.
Yeah, youth leader had to be focused on 2 or 3 young guys, young ladies, calling them, being with them, praying with them. What I said before.
A salir con ellos e invitarlos después a las actividades de la iglesia.
Yeah. Keep in touch with them in order to invite them every time to be part of the church.
El proyecto era muy bueno.
The project was very good.
Al inicio todos estaban emocionados,
At the beginning, they were all amazed and they were into the project.
pero costaba tiempo, sacrificio y dinero.
Yeah, but it cost time, sacrifice, and money.
Y poco a poco se desanimaron.
Yeah, and it fell off.
Es servicio.
Yeah, the service. I said before, service. Service, where's the... Mission is through discipleship, and discipleship is through service. And service costs a lot.
Pero
Money,
quiero decir
sacrifice.
el dato positivo,
Mm.
que los líderes que siguieron hasta la fin
The youth leaders that continue until the end,
llegaron a tener una relación muy estrecha con estos muchachos.
yeah, they were close to these young ladies and young guys.
Estos muchachos son activos y tienen cargos en la iglesia.
Yeah, they are developing the process of discipleship. They are doing things in church. Yeah, it's hard, but it's the only task we have to do as Christians, as Seventh-day Adventists. Mission, and mission is making disciples, and disciples is a tough task that only works through service. Okay, it's time to finish. 12. Shall we pray? Just bow our heads. And thank you, Lord, for this privilege, for being here and share with friends, with brothers and sisters, our sorrows, our expectations, our problems, our challenges. Please, Lord, fill the church, fill us with your Holy Spirit. Bless us and give us the wisdom to keep working, to don't give up, and keep working for these young people that they need you desperately. Please be with us and continue with us during this Congress, this beautiful Congress, in the name of Jesus. Amen. So thanks for coming, people. It was nice hearing from you.